Oh my god, it is freaking Monday. I wanted to day off. I wanted to go enjoy myself a little bit. But guys, I'm here at home making this video because my blood is literally boiling. I don't think I've ever had a situation get me this riled up to where I'm actually kind of like angry about it. And it's so sad because nobody's saying anything about it because everyone's so afraid of getting canceled. And honestly, if anything, this is making me lose faith in humanity. And I think it's scary because I don't really know how to even talk to you guys about this video. Like, I feel like anything I say in this video, I might end up on twitter.com. Before we get into it, make sure you're subscribed so I don't get canceled and die. We gotta show them the Schlep army is back, baby. Before we get into it though, don't harass anybody in this video. If you do that, you are not a fan of me. But yeah, let's talk about this. So twitter.com, worst site on the internet. I actually think that the whole world would literally be a better place without this website. And you might be wondering, why do you hate this site so much, and why are you on it if you hate it so much? Well, for one, it's like fun. That's why I use Twitter. But the reason why I hate Twitter so much is anybody at all can have a soapbox. You can have a soapbox. Your friends can have a soapbox. They could go on Twitter and just spew whatever they want, and it could have any agenda behind it as well. We've seen this time and time again with stupid cancellations happening, people getting canceled for the dumbest reasons, and there are some definitely justifiable ones that I definitely am behind, but a lot of the time, a lot of different cancellations are for very minor things, and people taking them drastically out of context. And this has recently just happened to Albert Flamingo, Mr. Flimflam himself. He wrote a post over on Twitter and he pretty much said, finally things are back to normal. Death to America, and then that. And then someone went ahead and responded with this thing that was trending on Twitter, and then Albert responded back with Mr. Mustache Man, I'm still standing cover, and it was like an AI version of that. Now, definitely wasn't the most tasteful tweet. I definitely don't think it's the worst thing Albert has done. Albert has had a very long career of doing some very edgy stuff, like back in the Albert stuff day. But, you know, I personally wouldn't, like, tweet that out, and I can understand why some people would take offense to that, but Albert deleted the post. He literally deleted it and apologized, not once but twice, and it should end there. Okay, it wasn't that serious. But you know how Twitter works is if you do anything slightly not politically correct, well, you are on their hit list, and that is what is currently going on with Albert. I mean, this post here has almost 3,000 likes saying unfollow Albert, this isn't funny at all. And if you scroll down, pretty much calls him a horrible person for making this tweet. And there's a pretty huge generalization of someone, summing up in someone's entire personality, who they are, to a singular post. They sent a YouTube video of Mr. Mustache Man singing I'm Still Standing. This is what I mean when I talk about the soapbox on Twitter. Anybody has the power to say whatever they want, and you can just demonize literally anybody for maybe just a bad tweet or something like this. Okay, so this post here made me lose all my faith in humanity. This is a real post. I checked. This is a real account that frequently comments on stuff, and they say that they're 14 years old, and this is what they wrote. Dude, shut the heck up. He supports Mr. Mustache Man, who killed thousands, not millions, thousands of people. Sorry to say this, but I wish you were one of them. And that was to Parliament. Dude, I can't freaking believe this crap. I actually cannot. This is all stems because of from Albert making a crap post on Twitter. The absolute cope that some of these Twitter people have is just so crazy. Like, how? Saying that Parlo should end up like one of the people that died in the Holocaust, in my opinion, is just as bad, if not 10 billion times worse than what Flamingo actually wrote. I mean, that is just an unbelievable cope, but we got another one over here on aisle 7. So to go back to the response that Albert actually wrote, someone replied to that tweet with this, and it said, dude, this is what it should have looked like, and it's like a fictional apology message to the tweet. What I said was really messed up, and I honestly shouldn't have said this. Listen, I could kind of understand if you feel like the apology message wasn't enough, but like, he apologized. Like, what do you want him to do? Do you want him to bow down? And he didn't just apologize once, he apologized twice. He recognized his faults, he apologized publicly, not once, but twice, and is trying to move on. Like, this sort of stuff really sucks, because what it does is it holds people back to their mistakes. It's like, oh, what you did was not good enough. I will hold this over your head until the end of time. Next one I want to talk about is quite an insane one that I just can't even believe is real. Like, I thought this was like a troll account, but I was proven that this is a real account, and it all started when they posted this. This is what I call the classic Twitter switcheroo. So, you know, we all know Albert apologized multiple times, but this person wrote, is this supposed to be an apology? And, you know, he clearly states, sorry. Yeah, that's supposed to be an apology. Did I answer your question correctly? This post amassed over 800 likes, and it was followed up with this. I came home earlier, visibly upset from the situation with Albert, and my mom made me tell her what's wrong, so I briefly explained everything to both of my parents. They are making fun of it now. I cannot take this. I know a lot of people, when they would read this, their first thing would be to blow some easy punches, but I legitimately want to say, if you are trying to talk to your parents about this, that is a great thing, and you probably should. If you are becoming visibly upset over your favorite YouTuber doing something you don't like, that's an issue, and really should be talking to your parents about that. But it's definitely sad to read some of these tweets from Flamingo fans. A lot of people seem to be like actually upset, like not even just upset, you know, oh, I just read a horrible tweet on Twitter. Like, they are visibly upset, like this person was saying, and it's just very tragic to see. And I will say one thing: just don't hop on bandwagons. Take everything you're reading with a grain of salt, because I have read some crazy things spawn out of this. Like, for instance, they were attacking Caden Fumblebottom and Laughability and Temperance recently, all spawning from this drama, and they were saying that they were friends with someone who groomed people and they are doxing people. There was zero proof for this claim, by the way, but it got likes because it's a part of the big bandwagon. And I think this really showcases how you have to take everything you read with a massive grain of salt when it's specifically coming from a Twitter bandwagon. You can literally accuse anyone of anything during a Twitter bandwagon. People will probably end up believing it. And to accuse Albert's friends of like just awful things is just a really low thing to do. I mean, you know, just to begin with, because someone else did something doesn't mean that Albert is necessarily responsible for it. Like, to accuse Albert of somehow being an awful person because he's friends with a friend that has a friend that did something bad, that's kind of crazy, and that was getting a lot of traction on Twitter for some reason. But to also accuse Albert's friends, who are some really cool and nice people, I mean, I've heard like really amazing things behind the scenes of almost every person mentioned here, and I've interacted with a few of them. Like, I couldn't imagine them doing this sort of thing. Like, it's just stupid takes on Twitter. I lose faith whenever I read these Twitter comments, because it's like, you know, you don't know these people and you're just accusing them of wild things because there's a bandwagon going on. There's so many more different comments in horrible posts that I've read of just awful things. Like, I've read posts of him saying that he supports Mr. Mustache Guy and that he's a part of the group that the Mr. Mustache Guy ran. Like, it's just... it's so stupid. The whole thing in general is just very stupid, and it's been blown out of proportion like crazy. And it's just, it makes my blood boil, because there's a lot of people who did nothing wrong that are getting affected by this. So in conclusion, he apologized not once but twice. Grow up, touch grass.